Okay. Okay.
Yes. So here we are at Las Vegas MGM at the breakfast brunch buffet as guest of Louis Farrakhan, leader of the Muslim nation. So Louis is sitting at the head of the table. Next to him is Joe. Next to Joe is Majestic, and me right across from Joe, along with 50 hardcore Muslim bodyguards in their suits and bow ties. So I get back from the buffet line with a plate of crispy bacon, smoked ham. I sit down, put it right in front of us. Joe takes a look and says, "All right," because Joe usually does. So he reaches out to grab some bacon. Majestic grabs his hand and says, "Joe, you don't eat pork." So Joe says, "The hell I don't." And then Majestic kindly explained to him why he should not eat pork today. Joe takes a moment and says, "Oh yeah, that's right. I was just getting it for Sims." So he puts the pork on my table, on my plate, and then he has to sit there for the next 2 hours staring at that delicious plate of pork, while the rest of the crew is staring at Joe and Louis. Well, that all worked out because right after the buffet, we went straight to Nathan's and got about a dozen hot dogs.
So it's about in 2003, we were planning one of his birthday parties at the Neverland Ranch. And our guest list was piling up like RSVPs from everywhere. We had celebrities, we had a lot of friends and families of the Jacksons, and I mean, it was like getting really full, like 2,000 people. So Michael had called Joseph, and basically said, "Joseph, we have to cut off the list." So Joe cuts the list off, and we couldn't take any more RSVPs. Towards the day before the event, some cousins of Joe's come in from out of town unannounced and wanted to get on the list of the birthday party. And they went to Joe's wife, Catherine, and she was pleading to get on the list. And Joseph kept saying, no, can't get on the list. No more people allowed. Michael had cut it off. And then Catherine says, "But Joseph, they're Jacksons." And Joe says, "Kate, I don't care if their name is Jackson. They ain't getting in." And he walks off out of the room really upset. Anyways, that was Joe's personality. Once he put his foot down, he couldn't change his mind.
One day, it was January, and we come from Las Vegas, and he says, "I want to go to state line." Now we're talking about the state line, which is the border of Nevada and California. And that's about an hour and a half from the house. So I say, "Okay, let's go." And I usually put on my GPS. He says, "No, you don't need a GPS to go there. I know exactly how to get there. Don't worry about it." So we're driving. It's about an hour and a half away. And we're driving already 2 hours. And I was like, "Boss, I think we lost." He says, "No, we're not lost. You just keep on talking so much that you don't even realize where you're going." I said, okay. Anyway, we ended up 7 hours later in Utah. So we went to the state line of Utah and Las Vegas, not of, and Nevada, not Nevada and California. So now we had to stay in a hotel. We didn't bring anything to pass the night, so we had to go and buy toothbrush and get everything and get into a hotel. And we had to check out of the hotel at 5 o'clock in the morning because he had an appointment back in Las Vegas at the house at 2 o'clock. So now, you understand, that's the boss.
Je m'appelle Laurent, je me suis occupé de la sécurité privée et rapproché de M. Jackson pendant de nombreuses années, notamment en Europe et lors de ses déplacements en Amérique du Sud. S'il y a bien quelque chose qui nous a marqué, Joe et moi, c'est le fait le plus marquant depuis toutes ces belles années et ces belles aventures. C'est un jour, on était au palais du Prince à Monaco, pendant la période du Grand Prix de Monaco. On était dans une discothèque. Et là, Joe me dit, je vais aller aux toilettes. Je lui dis, bien sûr, on va aux toilettes. Et là, dans les toilettes hommes, il me dit, Laurent, j'ai un problème avec ma ceinture, tu veux pas m'aider? Je dis, bien sûr, monsieur, j'arrive tout de suite. Je prends, donc je commence à essayer d'enlever la ceinture, et à ce moment-là, un homme rentre dans les toilettes. Nous, on se regarde avec Joe stupéfait. Joe, des yeux comme ça, moi, des yeux comme ça. Le type, il est presque parti en courant. Et là, on a éclaté de rire avec Joe. Éclaté de rire. Parce que vous pouvez imaginer la scène cocasse, monsieur Jackson avec son garde du corps en train de lui enlever le pantalon. Voilà, temps de repenser à toi, Joe. Laurent.
I was really, really nervous. You know, he's showing me around the house and we get to the pool area. And I asked him, I go, how tall is, you know, the water in the swimming pool? And he goes, as tall as your mom. And I asked him to, you know, repeat himself. What did you say to me? And he goes, it's as tall as your mom. Now, oddly enough, that's what allowed me to be comfortable with him because I like to joke around a lot. He likes to joke around a lot. We're the same sign. So I knew everything was going to be good from there. And it truly was. It was a pleasure working with him. You know, even when we had our arguments, once I offer him ice cream, everything's fine. He's a really, really strong person, like so strong. I remember when he was on his deathbed, I asked him, I said, come on, get up, you know, just do one more walk with me. Do one more walk with me. And he got up. He got up. He was sick and he got up. And we took that walk around the house, you know, me not knowing that's going to be our last walk we took together because he's strong. I'm sure he's still strong right now, even though he's not, you know, on the earth. But yeah, I've had a lot of good memories with him. And it's sad that, you know, he's no longer here, but I still feel him, so yeah.
For almost 3 years, I was the right-hand man to Mr. Jackson. He would always have a joke, always something up his sleeve. Mr. Jackson always had a good sense of humor. There wasn't a day that went by when I went to work that Mr. Jackson was going to be up to. I miss him. I love him.
Favorite memory of Mr. Jackson, Mr. Joe Jackson?
Mr. Jackson, Joseph Jackson is talent. スーパータレントで、だから DNA、スーパースター DNA をマイケルに与えた。このダンスもここで踊ったから。
Yeah. I think what my father is saying is that Joe just had this special thing about him, and that's what he got to know about him in his final years. Joe came to his house a few times. And he just thought that he was a very special human being. My favorite memory about him is that is once he was looking at my father walking, and he said, "Wow, your father's got a really good step to his good bounce to his step." And then I looked at him and I said, "Joe, he's 10 years younger than you." And we both shared like a laugh and a good laugh.
Before President Trump became President Trump, when he was running against Hillary Clinton, everyone in the world was predicting that Hillary was going to take this by a landslide, including me. And Mr. Jackson would keep the TV on the news constantly. He was glued and watched the news all the time. And we would sit down and have discussions about it. He would always say, I know them both. Don't believe everything you hear in the media. She is not going to win. He's going to win. And we say, you crazy. How you know he's going to win? He said, I know these things. And sure enough, when the election ballots were in and it was predicted that Donald Trump was the president-elect, he was the first person that I called. He said, I told you. I see things all the time. I know things all the time. You guys just don't know anything. But that was Mr. Jackson. Always knowing, always one step ahead. May God rest his soul.
Heute vor 2 Jahren hat die Welt einen der größten Musikmanager überhaupt verloren und ich persönlich einen meiner besten Freunde, nämlich Joseph Jackson. Und er hat mich oft in Deutschland besucht. Und dann sind wir immer mit einem Phaeton gefahren, wie er hier zum Beispiel steht. Hier auf der Beifahrerseite hat Joe immer gesessen. Und einmal an einer Raststätte bin ich ausgestiegen und sah, dass sich 2 Männer unterhielten über ihn. Ich kam wieder in den Wagen und er fragt, was haben die geredet? Ich weiß genau, die haben über mich gesprochen. Dann habe ich gesagt, ja, die haben gesagt, ach guck mal, da sitzt das Double vom Vater von Michael Jackson im Auto. Und dann hat er gerufen, das darf ja wohl nicht wahr sein und hat getrommelt und sagte, geh sofort raus und stell das richtig. Ich bin das Original und keine Kopie. Das habe ich natürlich nicht gemacht, aber ich muss oft an diese Geschichte zurückdenken.
I have a lot of beautiful memories. I really can say we were very close friends. We went together around the world and he was a very, very positive, beautiful person. One memory I have, that's on the one side very sad, but on the other side, this was Joe Jackson. When Joe was very sick, and 2 days before he passed away, he called me. I knew he was very sick and I couldn't believe when I saw his number on my phone, and I did pick up the phone and I was saying, hi Joe, how are you? And he was asking me, how are you doing? And I told him I'm doing fine. And it was very hard for me because I knew in which condition he was. And then I told him, Joe, I will come over and I bring you a very nice gift from Germany. And he was waiting a minute and then he was saying, Dieter, don't forget. And he was laughing. This was Joe Jackson. Joe, I miss you. I miss you a lot. I think about you every day.
Some time, and we have truly have a lot of good time together and a lot of really fun moments. And one of them, well, the location was not really fun and the time and place was not really fun either, but what happened was really great. We were in the hospital in Sao Paulo, and Mr. Jackson just passed a very hard time, and in the morning a nurse was coming in to the room, and she said, hi Mr. Jackson, my name is Sarah, and I will be your nurse and I will be the person who is taking care about you. And Mr. Jackson, he opened his left eye and he looked at me, and then he opened his right eye and took a look on Sarah. I said, hello Sarah, could you please turn around? And Sarah was looking at Mr. Jackson and she was turning around. I said, whoa, no, you don't look like Sarah. And at that moment, I know that Mr. Jackson is coming back. Thank you very much. Greetings from Sweden, and I hope to see you all very soon. And Mr. Jackson, wherever you are, I miss you a lot.
One day I was fixing dinner in the kitchen, and he was in the living room sitting there in his favorite sofa there. And then when I finished to fix the dinner, I tried to find him there. He was not there. I went to his room. He was not there. Went to the office. I said, maybe he's in the office. No. I was looking in the garage, looking everywhere, and I don't find him. My heart started to boom, 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 boom. Almost get heart attack. And I said, oh my God, maybe he went out. What I'm going to do right now? And then looking everywhere around the house, and I can find him. When I'm looking to the corner, when it was the tree, he was behind the tree. I said, where you was? He said, I was here. Why are you looking for me? He was laughing. I said, don't do that again. You give me a heart attack. Oh my goodness, I can find you. He was looking at me from there, and I can find him. Yes, he was joking around.
Joe and myself and Carlos Santana, and we were at the mall and at the perfume counter, and we were discussing some business matters when three young thugs came up and interrupted our conversation and wanted to take a picture with Mr. Jackson. And Joe said, no, not now, we're discussing business. But the young men became overly aggressive, and they started taking a picture of Joe anyway. And Joe said, I told you we're in a meeting. And the next thing I know, Joe snatched the camera from the young man, who was totally shocked. And as he made an aggressive move toward Joe, Joe pulled back and showed him his gun. And at that moment, the three guys backed away, and they said, we forgot, that's Michael's dad we're messing with.
Conocí a Joe en el año 2010. Le invitamos a que viniese a España a ver una producción que acabábamos de crear, homenaje a Michael, Forever. Estuvo con nosotros 4 o 5 días en Madrid y en Sevilla. Fueron 4 o 5 días increíbles. Él vio el show en Sevilla, a mi lado. Al acabar me dijo, Carlos, esto es un gran show, estoy viendo a mi hijo sobre el escenario. A partir de ahí hubo una conexión y todo nos lo hizo fácil. Realmente hay que decir que era una persona sencilla, era una persona tenaz, una persona con las ideas claras y bueno, que luchó por dar lo mejor a sus hijos y llevarles por el camino más que él creía, el camino mejor para que triunfara en el mundo de la música. Realmente hay que reconocerle una labor increíble en una industria muy complicada y en unos años muy difíciles. Por lo tanto, el trabajo de él, ayudado por Catherine, su mujer, fue encomiable y consiguieron crear la familia más importante del mundo de la música. Y probablemente sin él nunca hubiéramos tenido un artista galáctico como Michael Jackson. Un abrazo muy fuerte, Joe, estés donde estés.
Mais ce que je retiens de la vie avec Joe, c'est qu'il avait beaucoup d'amour pour tout le monde. Quand on était avec lui, on sentait qu'il n'y avait pas d'âge. Tu peux être un enfant, tu vas parler bien avec Joe, tu peux être un adulte. On se sentait vraiment que c'était ton meilleur ami, quoi. Et moi, j'ai vraiment eu beaucoup de la chance et le privilège d'être tout le temps à ses côtés. Quand on voyageait ensemble, c'est lui qui m'a permis de rencontrer beaucoup de présidents, que ce soit le président Kabila. Mais le moment important, c'est les arbres qu'il a eu à planter dans notre ferme à Mbuela. Il a planté des arbres en mémoire de ses enfants. Et quand il plantait les arbres, il racontait la petite histoire, c'est qu'il a planté des mangoustaniers. Et ces arbres-là, ça donne des fruits. Donc jusqu'à présent, quand les gens vont visiter notre ferme, ils parlent de ces arbres-là que Joe Jackson a eu à planter.
Well, here's an anecdote to that story. So the day right after the buffet, Louis Farrakhan was scheduled to come to the Vegas house for a visit. So like I said, after the brunch, we went to Nathan's. Joe got himself like a dozen hot dogs. But didn't eat them all. Well, he ate like only 2. So the very next day, looking out the window, I see Joe taking these hot dogs to the garbage bin. Majestic comes up to me and says, "What's he doing?" I tell him, "Well, he's getting rid of all them hot dogs before Louis Farrakhan comes over." And Majestic says, "Why?" He goes, I told him he didn't want to get caught in that situation he did yesterday. Majestic says, "Well, them Nathan hot dogs are all made of 100% pure beef." I turn to Majestic and say, "Let's not tell him."